prize. Wizardmon quickly figures out why when he finds the lost Digivice and realizes Gatomon was created to be Kari's partner and got lost somehow, corrupted by Myotismon long ago, leading Kari to miss her call to the digital world. Really, Wizardmon is probably the most beloved minor character in the franchise. His role is limited to very few episodes, but thanks to the charm and ambiguity of the character and a really wonderful portrayal by Robert Axelrod, probably one of the strongest in the show, every line he delivers, even the horrible puns, is just downright heartwarming.
Come on, show me!
All right, it's a bottle of green chili sauce. It's great on tacos.
What are you doing eating on the job when there's work to be done?
Please don't tell Lord Myotismon. Why don't you get rid of this for me?
All right, boy, you know what I hope? I hope that the all-night drive-thru is still open.
He decides not to turn over the device to a hovering Demi-Devimon, but remembers how Gatomon saved him from the brink of death when he didn't have a friend in the world long ago, and wants the best for her, even if Myotismon kills him for it. A rather depressing harbinger of things to come. Gatomon breaks free of her brainwashing for a moment and remembers hatching all alone in the wilderness and how Myotismon had found her and then tortured her into being his servant. She quickly defects back to the good side, and Kari, being a pure and gentle soul, immediately accepts her as her partner. Tai, who arrives to a whole cluster of surprises at this, still doesn't trust the kitten, so the two friends set out to steal back Kari's tag and crest from inside Myotismon's coffin. Yes, the vampire Digimon sleeps in a coffin. I mean, apart from the garish lipstick, he's pretty true to form.
What are you doing in here?
Nothing.
If you're looking for something, maybe I can assist you.
Another copy.
Do you think I'd just leave the original lying around for thieves like you?
After catching them with their paws in his pillow, he takes Gatomon captive and leaves Wizardmon to drown in the bay, clutching Kari's crest as he sinks. Oh, goodbye, Wizardmon. This made most little kids bawl like babies. He was such an incredibly likable character. Myotismon tells Gatomon that he will destroy all the children if he doesn't tell them which is the 8th child, and then lines them up to be identified by her. Depressed, Gatomon complies. Matt and Sora are meanwhile busy hiding Kari, but when the enemy catches them, Kari gives herself up to keep them from hurting the other kids.
What a refreshingly helpful attitude. It's a deal.
I'm ready.
Hurry, man, stop her!
No, Kari! You don't know what you're doing!
And considering it means the end of the world, I guess you could say this is a dumb move, but I mean, she's a very little girl, and it was a very brave thing to do. I guess it runs in the family. Thankfully, the Digidestined have excellent timing powers, and all run into each other at just the right time to organize an attack on Myotismon. And what's more, Joe and TK found a barely breathing Wizardmon in the river along the way, and have Kari's crest and Digivice in tow. They stop Myotismon from hurting Kari, but as usual, they can't do any real damage to him. Now, for some reason, however, Angemon, who is admittedly a rare appearance, but these be desperate times, can injure the Bloodsucker, and they realize it's because Myotismon is a fiend of darkness and can only be eradicated by divine attacks. Remember, he is a vampire. Wizardmon runs to defend Kari and gives her the crest of light she possesses, and Tai pitches her Digivice right into her hand. Oh, fiddlesticks. Kari can't do a thing without her Digivice, so Myotismon cackles and gets ready to deliver the fatal blow.
You're gonna be alright. Please don't leave. Wizardmon!
Are you all right, Gatomon?
You saved me. I'm sorry.
About what?
Sorry I got you involved in this.
Don't be sorry. I don't have any regrets. If I hadn't met you, my life would have had no meaning. I'm glad that you and I were friends.
Oh, that's forever.
Thank you for everything, Gatomon.
No? Wizardmon?
Yep, Wizardmon survived only to die for real. And when I say die for real, I do mean die for real. It turns out if Digimon die in the real world, there's no place for their data to go, so they never reincarnate, or at least it's highly unlikely that it'll find its way back home to the digital world. So Wizardmon is pretty much gone for good, further upping his popularity with the viewers. He was a great character, this was a great arc, and it's about to go out with a bang. Kari's grief at losing Wizardmon activates her crest somehow. Seriously, think about it for a minute. This always bothered me. Why would this event activate her crest? I mean, why would such a dark, painful moment activate the crest of light? The other turning points for each character made sense, but I don't know about this one. I guess it's because Kari wanted to destroy the evil thing that had done this. You know, she wanted justice, and that's pure and righteous-ish, I suppose. Still, it is confusing. Gatomon becomes Anjawamon, and with Anjamon's help and the energy from the other ultimates, she figures an arrow is going to be more awesome than a stake and makes Myotismon go poof. Sort of. The evil fog shrouding the city and Myotismon's minions haven't disappeared, so something is amiss. Genai, ever the bearer of bad news, informs them that a prophecy predicted that the evil that arrived in the real world would gather the darkness he had spread upon arriving in the form of ghostly bats and use it to rise from the dead even stronger when the hour of the beast arrives. The hour of the beast, it turns out, is 6:06 and 6 seconds, and the bells are already chiming 6 o'clock. I'm beginning to think Genai withholds vital information from the good guys to entertain himself in his old age. Izzy works to decipher the rest of the prophecy as Myotismon begins to take mega form, and Patamon and Gatomon digivolve to shoot him down with their powers of light once more. He's still Om Nom Nom's Demi-Mon, though.
What are you doing?
Too bad. So sad. Izzy tells the angels to save their energy, however, when he discovers something bizarre about the prophecy.
Angels will shoot arrows of hope and light at the loved ones of those they have been sent to protect. And a miracle will happen. Okay, if Anjamon and Anjawoman are the angels in the prophecy...
So then who are the ones they've been sent to protect?
That must mean TK and Kari. The angels will shoot arrows at their loved ones.
It's simple. Allow me to explain. Say I'm kind of like a guardian angel. Whose guardian angel am I? Yours. And who do you love the most?
I was getting to that. My mom and dad, obviously.
Exactly. But TK and Kari not only have moms and dads, they have something else, too. They have brothers. In a word, bingo!
So, with a shrug of, alright guys, hope you don't die, the angels fire their holy arrows straight into Matt and Ty, and the power goes straight to their Digivices, doesn't hurt them at all, to blast Gabumon and Agumon quite literally into a mega evolution that unfortunately doesn't do a look of good either. The two strongest fighters on the team are at their strongest capacity, but still can't penetrate Venom Myotismon's hide, until they realize that the way to his heart is, well, right through his stomach. The others use the power of their crests to try and restrain him as the two Megas pry open his mouth and fire, destroying the Fiend for good. This would be a great way to end the series, but as it turns out, we still have 14 episodes left, so the kids barely get to celebrate before the sky is torn open, okay, to reveal a jagged, upside-down portal to the digital world. The kids realize they have to go back and stop whatever's causing this damage. They bid goodbye to their distraught parents and use their Digivices to warp into the portal, Kari joining them as the 8th member. The upcoming arc shows promise now that Kari is part of the team, and 2 worlds are depending on them at once here, but honestly, the Myotismon arc was the height of the show. He had an enormous host of minions, from big scary bruisers like mammoths, tyrannosaurs, and giant squids, to the slick and stealthy kidnappers team that took the form of ghosts and phantoms and got a lot of the best jokes in the show.
Never a moment's rest. It's always seize her or grab him or go terrorize that old lady.
Wizardmon and Gatomon were also some of the most enjoyable characters in the show for their unpredictability, and the kids were all over the place in the city, constantly fighting and moving the story along and getting some of their best character development when it came to involving their parents in the fight and how they chose to handle that. At the very least, the upcoming Dark Masters arc was second best, taking some of the heightened danger and excitement from Myotismon's threat and applying it to the digital world by, well, killing everybody. Upon arriving, the kids suddenly remember that whole time difference thing, and realize that years have passed in the digital world, and that forces far more powerful than Myotismon have taken advantage of his ambitions. The original creators of the Black Gears and orchestrators of all things evil, 4 Megas known as the Dark Masters, realized that Myotismon was leading the Digidestined back to the real world, and decided to take the opportunity to strike. Rather than taking over the real world first, they plot to corrupt the digital world so badly that it shatters the barrier between them, namely by twisting and pretzeling the fabric of the world with their virusy powers into a tight winding mess called Spiral Mountain, which just grows bigger and bigger and rips apart the fabric of the dimensional barrier. At this point, all the minor characters from the previous episodes of the show band together with the Digidestined to try and fight off the Dark Masters, and one by one, most of them die off in the process. Now the good news is they have better luck than Wizardmon and will just turn back into eggs to await their rebirth into Primary Village, which has to be purified and untangled before any new Digimon can be born again. I assume this was a key plot point to explain why they couldn't just wait for all the eggs to rehatch again and then rehire them into the militia. But still, the kids find out quickly that even at their strongest level, they just cannot defeat the Dark Masters. So this is the point in the series where the Digimon couldn't evolve any further, except for Patamon, who continues to be rarely in action and constantly behind the curve, but a complete juggernaut when he was actually brought into battle. But either way, the kids seemed to be at their peak and couldn't rely on their monster's power alone anymore. They had to use strategy, teamwork, and more unconventional tactics to defeat their enemies, and they all reached the peak of their character development if they hadn't already. Anyway, it takes a while, and the pacing isn't nearly as good as it was in the Myotismon arc, but while Myotismon was the most intriguing foe of the story, these goons are by far the most threatening. Metal Seedramon was first, and he had a cool, hip, young dude kind of voice, like a surfer, I suppose. It had a nasty temper, a massive ego, and presumably because of those issues, only one henchman, and he doesn't live very long. He was a Scorpiomon with a timid nature and an IQ of 0.2, but he loved clams and was perfectly happy to get paid completely in clams.
Scorpiomon! How did this happen?
Well, you see, that's a fair question. You see, it happened...
Silence! You failed me and I will not forgive failure!
No, I didn't think that you would!
Puppetmon was sort of a sadistic little kid, but the most sympathetic of the bunch because you got the impression he just sort of wanted some friends but didn't know how to treat them and enjoyed playing pranks on the kids rather than avidly trying to kill them.
We've reached the turning point.
Impossible!
Coochie coochie coo!
But Machine Dramon wasn't like that at all. He was just...
Show me those locations.
Right away, sir! There are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of them!
Let me put this in words you can understand. Send units to all 12 locations and blow them up.
all business, really. He was a mon of few words, and he mainly just sort of told his dragonish minions to kill without hesitation, so that combined with his voice made him quite scary. Finally, there was Piedmon, the most impossibly powerful of these clowns, and I do mean clowns, as he looks like a mime that stole Myotismon's wardrobe. He orders the other Dark Masters around, orchestrated the entire plan, and past that, didn't need any minions because he could take on all the good guys by himself. That being said, he could summon up an incredibly powerful Lady Devimon with a sneeze and Fields of Velamon with a hiccup. Speaking of Lady Devimon, her villainous entrance gave us this awesome little scene.
Never did like that bleached look! Gotcha! Let me go! Let me at her!
Wow! Look at him go! I know I shouldn't watch this, but I can't take my eyes off.
Get her onto him on! That's right! Knock that witch's bras off!
The Digimon catfighting was so amusing for both the fans and presumably the creators, they decided to do it again with the same characters in Season 2. Anyway, it takes Patamon's long-awaited Ultimate level form, just Ultimate, mind you, not Mega, because keep in mind that Patamon's combat evolutions are fathoms stronger than anyone else's at that same level. And they managed to put Piedmon away for good, collapsing the gruesome Spiral Mountain and slowly returning the digital world to normal. I say, is there something inside of that spiral? Oh yeah, we have 2 episodes left, so we're not out of the woods yet. It turns out the Dark Masters were trying, more specifically, to resurrect their master.
Are you repulsed by my appearance?
To be more accurate, their creator, a being who lives at the heart of chaos and darkness, assimilated from every data fragment from all Digimon who have been deleted because they weren't strong enough to evolve further. He is formed from all the resentment, failure, grief, and lost data in the digital world, and he probably listens to Linkin Park way more often than he should. He is is Apocalypse. He can use any attack from any evil Digimon the children have faced in the past, and devolve our heroes with a touch of his claws. When the Digestion